you? And Mum?
Hi,
Hi,
Sarah.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming in. Take us back and tell us when it started.
I was 7 years old. It was actually on my birthday. I was playing football, and then out of nowhere, this sharp, horrible shooting pain in my groin, and just like there. Then a couple of weeks later, I was taken to the doctor, had an X-ray, diagnosed with Perthes disease.
Now, what is Perthes disease? Because just before we do that, Mum, you've got arthritis, and I know that your first, and he says immediately took him to the doctor, but your first thing in your mind, Sarah, was he's inherited this from me, but it's not, is it? It's something
I'm not sure, because it does come on a family tree, because I've got EDS as well, and cervical spondylosis and back problems, and it does, actually, when you put it on an actual tree trunk or a family tree of arthritis, there's branches coming off that, and off that branch you've got lupus, and you've got Perthes.
Is that right? Vic, is that right?
It's quite often spontaneous.
Right.
So, but you're right. I mean, there is a possibility, but often it just happens out of.
We also both have hypermobility as well. I saw a rheumatologist recently. They said I have fibromyalgia or hypermobility because the symptoms are quite similar. But that was the only way they would try and explain the other symptoms I have.
Perthes, is that how you describe it?
Yeah, Perthes. That's the hitting within the hip. The hip ball basically crumbles away where there's no blood supply to it anymore, and it crumbles.
How long does that take?
Quite a few years.
3 to 5 years.
Yeah, from it crumbling away from nothing then to regrow. You know?
Options for you now are what? I mean, I was asking Victoria before this, because, you know, you hear about hip replacement operations all the time, but you said maybe not. Well, it's an interesting one.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as simple in your case. With Perthes disease, as you say, about the crumbling of the hip. So, especially as it happened when you were younger. So you still have, many years of growth since then. So the hip itself, actually the whole joint itself is a bit different to a normal arthritic hip. It doesn't develop in the same way. So if they go in to do surgery, you're not necessarily going to get the same outcome as if it was an arthritis.
Yeah,
Because
that's what the surgeon said. He was saying that basically if he did it now, it'd end up causing more problems than it's worth, essentially.
Vic, I want to get out of the way, but you have some exams and you want to do a walking test as well, is that right?
I'd like to just see how you walk and just demonstrate how
You're all right with that?
it is for you.
Yeah.
Sure.
So would you like to know why you get Perthes 3 times when you're only supposed to have it once in your lifetime? Is that
Very
just
rare.
Is it?
unlucky?
Very rare.
He's had it
yeah.
3 times.
3 times.
And
Just
then
head straight down to that gentleman holding the wire.
And as you can see, he's more or less hobbling. He's depending on the stick.
Yeah, I mean, my first thing I would say, and I'm just being totally straight, he has the gaits of an old man. He's 21 years of age. That's. I mean, I'm being straight.
He just hasn't had a childhood.
And I think, that's probably the main reason my back hurts a lot. It feels like someone's sitting on my shoulders.
Come and sit down.
I think that's why my back hurts a lot. But I'm not too sure about the lower part of my legs, where my knees hurt, like, most of the time, especially my left knee.
It's because you're so imbalanced.
Do you think that's yeah.
With a Perthes, sometimes it can affect the length of your bones.
Oh yeah, I think this leg is a centimetre or a couple of centimetres shorter.
So just that whole imbalance and where your joints are, so that will give you problems in your back and give you problems in your knee, which is what you're experiencing.
And obviously I do hydro now, and that's pretty much the only thing that would strengthen around my knee, the ligaments and stuff like that.
That's exercising in a pool.
Yeah.
I don't know why I knew that. So I don't know that.
We do it together.
You're very, very informed. You're very clinical about it. It must get you down, though.
Yeah, it has done well throughout most of my teenage life. I was very depressed and stuff like that. And then once I started becoming an adult, I made a lot of changes to myself mentally and stuff like that. And thought, well, this is the way you've got to do with it, really.
What are his options moving forward?
So options are, we'll have a look at the scans that we've done. What tends to happen with the condition is that you get quite a lot of tightening of the muscles around there.
Yeah.
So kind of releasing the muscles, because things develop in a different way to what they would have done normally. Surgery, because you mentioned about joint replacement, that is a possibility. As I said, it's not as straightforward, but that's something that can happen. I mean, joints which are replaced only last for about 20 years. So imagine if you had a joint replacement now, you probably have about 3 or 4 in your lifetime.
Yeah.
We did a scan, did we? Could you take us through that?
Yeah.
Is that all right?
So this is a scan of your pelvis. So just have a look at your bones from here. These are your hip joints here. So if you have a look on your good side, on your left side, you can see the bones of the hip, the head of the femur, which is your hip joint in its socket. It's nice and smooth and round. So that's a normal, what we would expect for your age. Now have a look and compare it to this side. So as I mentioned, it was nice and smooth. if I follow that round, it dips here and then goes round. It's quite flat. This is quite obviously
It
rounded.
doesn't look like
this looks a
the
bit more.
socket is big enough,
Precisely.
does it?
So it doesn't fit as it should, and that's because of the blood supply lost to the top of the bone here. Everything kind of crumbles down. So you
And
don't,
that would allow that ball to move all over
Exactly.
the place and become displaced. God, no wonder it's painful.
And would you call that a shallow hip joint?
yes,
Yeah.
I would do. So you're not going to get, as you mentioned, Jeremy, you're not going to get the same kind of movement that you'd expect. So,
What would your advice be?
I mean, it's done on a case-by-case basis. Just because it's difficult doesn't mean it can't be done. It's just finding the right person who would have a look at your hip and say, okay, what can we do with your situation which will improve it so you can do all the things that you want to do, work, go out, take part in sports, but you might not be able to do as much as you
Just
would
get
like.
on with
But
his
it's-
life,
exactly.
doesn't he, really? But the timing thing's a really good question.
Yeah.
When do you do it so for maximum exposure? Listen, really appreciate you guys coming in today. I love your spirit as well, my friend.
Thank you.
Good luck.
You
Thank
too.
you very much, Steve. Love you. Thanks.